All right. So I'm just going to be going over running or not running, but making a prestige class for Dungeons and Dragons 3.5. What it sort of looks like. This one is one that I sort of took from Shadowrun. Not. That's a loose way of putting it. It's really just a the trope in Hollywood of somebody who knows a guy. They always have a contact ready to help them out. And that's sort of the what I hope to sort of replicate here. So you'll notice that I used a D6 hit die because it's supposed to be a prestige class for the rogue, or maybe a bard, which is sort of the idea that we're going with here. Obviously, that requires that there be an alignment restriction on lawful characters, which is I'm not a huge fan of alignment restrictions, but they're more useful in 3.5 than they are in 5e at least. So here you see me sitting down the base attack bonus. It's not going to be terribly high, but I did want to get at least to +8, so I put down. The base attack bonuses that you see here, I figure that those will probably reflect pretty well the progression of combat that we're looking at with this prestige class. The saving throws are equivalent to the Montebank from Complete Scoundrel, which is one of the inspirations for this class. Because charisma-based rogues are something that we don't see enough representation of in 3.5 or in any of the editions. Come to think of it, charisma-based rogues are kind of shafted, and I think it's a really interesting concept. One of the reasons that I wanted to do this rogue is because, as much as this rogue is about knowing the right person, it's also just about being a good, charisma-based class. So you'll see here, I just wanted to show you guys that. We first figure out the class skills and the, saving throws and all that before we get to the special category, the class features, because, I didn't want to, I wanted to get everything else down first. You want to get in class skills. You want to get in the prerequisites for the class if you're building a prestige class like I am, as opposed to a base class. You want to get in everything that's necessary to sort of have that set up before you do all of the class features first. So now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of it, which is those class features I mentioned. So we're going to start with one of the big things about 3.5 is that typically. Right here, before I get into that, I am just going to describe the class real quick. You'll see that most, if not all, prestige classes have some short description before the class features. Anyway, you'll notice that in 3.5 especially, a lot of the class features in prestige classes and less popular. Oh shit! I used the wrong your. I'll have to go back and fix that. That was stupid. But anyway, so you pull off the job you were planning. That's incorrect. So a lot of classes, their class features will be, as you can see here, bonus feats, just taking one of the feats that already exist and giving it a bonus feat. But the I Know a Guy feature, which I'm about to write out, is entirely an original class concept. And so those are basically the two types of class features you'll find when you're developing stuff for 3.5, is that usually it's either a bonus feat or it's a new mechanic that you're introducing. This mechanic in question is sort of based off of the optional rules for diplomacy that you'll find in the 5th edition Dungeon Master's Guide. It's sort of that idea of there's different stages of willingness to help you that NPCs will have. I did have a mechanic where you can roll for it, which is something. But if there's already a narrative precedent set, if you as a character have met this character before, the DM has set up this NPC as somebody that your character has known in the past, and you've met them in character before, then already they obviously already have an established relationship with you. Which is why, I sort of set, there is already narrative precedent. I said that there, and I reinforced that after I put up the roles by saying that the DM can forsake the role just to choose one, because obviously the dungeon master has authority in this matter. So I put that in there, but that is the big level 1 feature for this class. So if you're just doing a 1 level dip in this class, that's sort of what you're going in it for. is the like I know a guy feature. You'll also see that I put in some sneak attack bonuses because this is supposed to be a rogue class. It stacks with rogue sneak attack, just like every other rogue prestige class. But if you're not a rogue and you don't already have those, then you get that feature, which is nice. I've always been a fan of the idea of like non-rogues having some form of sneak attack. I know that the Shadow Blade has like what's it called? The Shadow Blade has its own form of that called, I think it's like Instant Strike or something like that. There are other classes like I think the Ninja has one as well that's in the same vein. So like from the Player's Handbook 2, and I think it's in Complete Adventure as well. But like there are other classes that sort of get something akin to sneak attack but isn't sneak attack, and I like that idea of classes that have a sneak attack like feature, which is not it's good to have there. So I just literally just copied the sneak attack description from like any other rogue prestige class. So the leadership feat, I gave them the leadership feat as a bonus because I feel like this is somebody who constantly has followers, or who constantly has people that they know, or like sort of a criminal contact thing. Like the criminal background in 5th edition has that criminal contact ability, and that's sort of the flavor that I wanted to go with here. Is that you know a lot of people in the underworld and you can sort of get into contact with them if you need it. And leadership is kind of like you're training these people. It gives you that flavor of like you are a crime boss or that sort of a thing, which is why the name of the class is a fixer. Roguish Charm is sort of the second big ability of this class. I nerf it a little bit in order to give the level 6 ability sort of more oomph, but you'll see here that like Roguish Charm allows you to be a little more diplomatic, a little more you can use those charisma skills a little more effectively because it gives you a reroll. I basically just copied the Slippery Mind ability from the Mountebank because I thought it was a really, really great flavor for this thing, because it's like you train yourself to see through lies and to maintain your individuality, maintain your sort of sense of self, because like there's a lot of rigorous mental training that goes into being a rogue, and so like that I liked that idea, so I popped it in there at 7th level because I didn't have anything for 7th level. But yeah, I just wanted to throw it in there before I get to the level 6 ability, because the level 6 ability just alters the Roguish Charm ability. It gives you the ability to use Roguish Charm on somebody who is not already fond of you. And that's sort of the idea behind it, because I wanted to alter Roguish Charm so that it's a little less useful at level 4, so that you're more committed to this prestige class. Like if you want to get the full benefit of this prestige class, you have to put more than just a few levels into it. You have to get to level 6 or level 10 even, which is where the biggest ability that you'll get comes in, and I think I'm about to type that out now. Yeah. But at level 10, you'll get the Peacemaker ability. And this is one that I really like, because like I like the idea of somebody who can talk their way out of anything, even once combat starts. Kind of it's an unspoken rule that like once combat begins in Dungeons and Dragons, there is no talking your way. Like that is it. You have failed the talking portion, and now you have to fight. So like the 10th level, which is like what you get if you fully committed to this class, and it's sort of a reward for getting all the way through this prestige class. Is that you are given the opportunity to try and talk your way out of a fight, which is something that I really like about this class, and that's sort of the whole attraction of this class, is that you can talk. It's like if you talk enough, you can get yourself out of anything, and that's sort of the whole point of this class. That and being able to communicate effectively with like your underworld contacts. So like it's sort of a combination of those two, because I feel that I mentioned earlier, I really think that the charisma rogue is kind of underappreciated, and that like charismatic rogues are a really cool concept. So yeah, that's the fixer. You can sort of follow this guide if you need, to ever like homebrew out a prestige class. I fixed that grammatical error there. If you ever need to like design your own prestige class, then this is a pretty good sort of template to follow. Just like first bang out your hit die, take care of your prerequisites, take care of the class skills, and then you can worry about, your class features and make sure that you get all the flavor and mechanical bonuses in there that you really want to get in there. Like, make sure you got the base stuff down first, and then have fun with it. Most prestige classes are 10 levels. Some are 15, some are 5. Actually, I don't know if there are any 15. I think it's just 5 and 10. But yeah, take your time with it. Don't think too much about it, and usually it'll come out with something interesting. Remember, prestige classes are all about the flavor. Base classes are what you have for like mechanically balanced and effective classes. Prestige classes are just for having fun and really, really tooling down to the character that you want to build. And so that's what they're all about. So if you're homebrewing out a prestige class, remember that flavor comes first, and to make sure the foundation is laid before you really start getting into that. So thanks for watching.